Well, comic book fans, I am officially back with a review. It's been 5 months since my last one, which is a review on the, from the Spider-Man TV series that aired on Disney Plus, around 10 or so episodes. I do probably do a season review, but not my entire thoughts on the series. You be sure to watch them, because I don't know why it needed to be a 3D show. Just does not look that great. Alright, here the review. This, the best Spider-Man film from Sam Raimi. Damn it! Why does that keep happening? I know how to say his name, but my tongue always says it wrong. Sam Raimi. Raimi. So yeah, I have the entire trilogy. I have the entire trilogy on Blu-ray and DVD. Like the Blu-rays I bought just today. Within this, if you look at the cutback of the Blu-ray box, you can find the trilogy has this on it. Look like this. It's fine, but they released a separate right? They just released them separately instead of together. So that's kind of false advertising and laziness. And this film released back in 2002. I was way too young to see this film when it came out. No joke, I was born in 2001. And by 2002, I was literally just 1 year old. So I was like a fucking year old when this came out. So yeah, could not watch it. I said I never grew up with these movies, but I did grow up with the amazing films. Yeah, I actually did grow up watching the Andrew Garfield movies. So, in the background, Sam Raimi was a well-known director. He was more famous directing horror films, but this film was in development hell, past for many people, including James Cameron. But Sam Raimi was given a house, and he was a big Spider-Man fan. This movie, compared to modern comic movies as we've seen, this is rated 12 in the UK, but in the US it was rated PG-13. This is all like supposed to be teen kids movie. It's supposed to be a kids movie, right? There's nothing wrong with making a Spider-Man film for kids. It's alright. I think it's a bad idea. Oh, there are a lot of kids Spider-Man shows for kids that do a good job with story. 90s cartoon and a Spectacular Spider-Man. Both great kids shows, but they have more than but you get my point. Anyway, anyway, let's get in this movie review so this doesn't go on long. Right. So, movie was a great and old sequence, but it is okay for the time specifically, I mean. Something that looks like it comes from the PS2 era. Yeah. Not that great. Okay, now. But anyway, narration by Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire. If we're waiting on here, a story. It's saying the story's not for the faint of heart. You'll assume the story starts like any other story, just a normal person. Whoever says that's a liar. God damn. Honestly, we learn more. He has a crush on a girl named Mary Jane Watson, who he's known since 4th grade. But she's kind of dating the jock in Flash Thompson. I don't get why he's brown. Why he casts a brown hair actor to portray the character. See, Flash Thompson in the comics has always been a blonde. So apparently MCU movies, that the guy only supposed to be Flash, but he doesn't look or feel like Flash Thompson. Like, the character literally became a good guy in the comics years later. So it's kind of insulting in a way. Because one of this rich kid like mentality of the guy. I think I've seen more of those places where actually we watch those films as part of the MCU. It's gonna be a while though. At least all part. There's nothing wrong with collections, but they really confuse it. They were great for years, they were easy to navigate. Until the Disney Plus era began in 2019. Oh boy. There's no need to get into that kind of worm, so. And he appears running the catch after the bus. Where the students laughing, except Mary Jane. Even the bus driver is laughing. Something he's not supposed to do. But Mary Jane, the kind-hearted person, basically tells the driver to stop and let him on. And you see that literally no one likes Peter for some reason. You know, it's got big. I kind of don't know why, but why does everyone hate Peter? Like, everyone. He's clumsy yet kind. He's clumsy yet kind. So I don't understand. I just never understood why everyone in school hates Peter. You know, recently, for summertime, towards the end of summer, Marvel released a special short featuring Spider-Man and Miss Marvel. It's actually a pretty good short. Very short, no dialogue. But it does give a showcase of Spider-Man and Miss Marvel's friendship in a way, since they're both around the same age. Being in high school and stuff. She sees a bigger Peter's identity of Spider-Man when he accidentally dropped his mask in that one. Yeah, I like their friendship being the same age and stuff. Good dynamic between the two. They go to a science museum, and the genetic research and stuff. Then we introduced to Harry Osborn and his father, Norman Osborn. Norman being portrayed by none other than Willem Dafoe, who is it just me or did anyone think he should be able to play voice the Joker someday? Like, he is perfect to play the Joker. I mean, come on. He kind of literally playing a soft version of the Joker in this movie. I mean, he just fit right in to play the Joker. Just imagine that. Is it just me? Anyway. Alright, Peter and Harry been best friends since childhood. I mean, it's interesting to me. As in the comics, Peter and Harry weren't exactly best friends. They did become friends, but Harry was a bit of a dick. Like a total jerk early on. Even at the time he became the Green Goblin in the comics. Yeah, that's whole controversial kind of route. It's a whole long story for that one. No, no one didn't not like Harry in the comics, but that's the cheat. You really get elements of that in the modern version, in this version, in the story. But it may take a moment by the way. I looked it up too. The Ultimate Green Goblin actually already existed at the time. Norman debuted in issue 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man in 2000. 2. His debut was Ultimate Green Goblin in 2001. That's in the 5th issue. Eliminate. That's just in the 5th issue. Oh, Larry also has a crush on MJ. So, yeah, in Peter ends up interacting Norman for the first time. Says aloud, I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. Right. It's in the rest of the class. These engineers, super spiders. You even get mentioned that they can actually camouflage. Which is a quite interesting thing. Like I said, it's released in 2002. If you don't know, in the alternate continuity spiders, Peter Parker dies. But that's not until years after this movie. Took his place was Miles Morales. Well, side note. Seems like the company's going to be calling him Spin. That's a lame name. That name has already been used by him in the fucking Spidey and Amazing Friends TV show. Not that bad of a show, but it's just fucking weird. Do we really need to do that? Yeah, I do not like the name Spin. It does not suit him. Think of a band name. Think of a band name that actually sounds cool, just as cool as Spider-Man. Spirantula? I don't fucking know. Just don't call him anything else but Spin. Peter was still alive in the comics at the time. So he died in the late 2000s, I think. Shortly after the Ultimatum story came out. So then, one of Miles' powers is camouflage. You turn yourself invisible. It's just quite an interesting power thing. Because the guy didn't even exist at the time. I just find that a weird coincidence. Sorry. Just find that a weird coincidence. Every time I talk, this happens. Anyway. Beyond. Sorry. Actually, Peter gives a long Mary Jane. I was to take a picture. After taking a picture, a spider bites Peter. Since there were 14 spiders, one escaped. The escaped one bited him, and they're genetically engineered. So what will happen to Peter? As you see the girl behind the DNA, it says, new species. Meanwhile, back on Oscorp, Norman is talking to the board and the military about tech. About a glider and stuff. Because the military seem more interested in their human and Sherman has a unique formula of the serum. They're already testing a few lab rats stuff. But it has the side effects: aggression, insanity, that shit. So basically the military threat is that it'll pull funding if no one doesn't get a working test subject, one living proof and stuff. But what else? What's on? Alright, Peter gets home with his Aunt May and Uncle Ben. As he says to head off sleep because he's not feeling well. And around that time he's sleeping. Because Oscorp at night, Norman, a scientist, I'm going to do some. Norman is volunteering himself to test it. But that's the formula. sees someone running up to Norman and decided to check on him. Norman rolls over the window. Scary. Peter wakes up the next morning, he sees something around him is different, as you can see without glasses now, and he's got some muscles. He's got damn. He's feel bad, so he says to help the school. Of course, the bus leaving around him again. This time, we're touching the side, the poster somehow but itself sticking to his hand. It's weird. Being at the school, we cut to Norman as Harry finds him in the living room. Norman says he doesn't remember anything about last night. Once I find out the two employees that the scientist that Norman went with last night is dead, he's been murdered, and his suit and glider have been stolen. That's not good. At school, Peter's dealing with weird new pals. Seeing able to catch, he's got some hyper awareness or something. And he's able to catch MJ's tray when she slipped. But all the food landed on safely. So, and that scene's over. Peter's new abilities are making himself known. As Sal, he accidentally creates a web tied to another person's tray. Since, by the way, in the comics, it was web shooters he uses. I don't know why Sam mainly used, organic webs. It just doesn't. I don't get it. Not that element that I'm making them. I guess I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't know. Anyway, Pete accidentally throws a tray a Flash was the man and flashing up pissed for trying to hit Peter, but Peter ends up biting back. Realizing his new power. No good Flash out. Peter shoplifts, leaves school quickly. And learns he's able to climb walls now. So he ends up testing out this ability and how he uses web is by doing this. Which doesn't really make sense why that triggers it. See, in the comics with the web shooters, it makes sense. West 2's biggest doubt, they unleash the web. I suppose. So it just doesn't make any sense with the organic webs to do that. I'm just saying it's just weird, no explanation. Anyway. Peter. Anyway. Peter ends up crashing into a billboard. All that night, military company, as the general of the military, actually warns us out of business for some reason. But that's bad, as that same a mysterious person wearing that suit and using that glider kills them with on. Peter is practicing himself, learning his new skills. Also picking up costume ideas. Just for fun. But I may get worried. Well, Peter ends up overhearing an argument between MJ and her father. Peter and MJ have a talk. Peter apologizes about Flash, but MJ says it's okay. At least he didn't give him a black eye. Well, look what happened. MJ's dreams of being an actress and stuff. But, Peter supports that. Anyway, Flash shows up with a gorgeous car. Peter. She says about Peter. So Peter has to look for money. looking on how to get money to buy a car to just impress her. Then sees a amateur wrestling field, prize money of $3,000. So he decides to go enter. Uncle Ben offering to try Ben. Peter initially tries, but Ben insists, so a driver. Ben has to talk to Peter saying that he and his aunts are pretty worried about him. You know? And sure that Flash got what he deserved, or deserved what he got, but still, he has no great, basically, what he could help. Basically says the famous line, with great power comes great responsibility. When Peter snaps at him, I don't know why. That's the problem with this one. I like how they get more focus on Uncle Ben before his death. But I prefer how the Amazing Spider-Man handled that scene. And as it gave us a reason for Peter and Ben to fight. You know? It gave him a reason to fight. So that makes sense. So, yeah, just weird that Peter suddenly snaps at Ben here. When obviously there was no arguing, no tension, anything. And well, Peter says that Ben's noticing as well, and Peter just says, then don't act like it. You can clearly see the hurt in Ben's eyes. Peter leaves. Also regretting what he said, but wasn't the time. Little did he know, this night will have unfortunate consequences. As he signs up, he's up against Bonesaw. He's going by the human spider, but he also played by Bruce Campbell. Things that sucks. So calls him the Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, Peter has to face off against this guy, Bonesaw, and he's definitely a pain in the ass. Peter ends up kicking his butt in 2 minutes. People cheering him, but Iona, the one who organised the event, cheats him out of money, giving only $100 instead of the promised $3,000, just because he didn't defeat him in 3 minutes. You're a fucking asshole, you know that? You should be impressed your top champion was defeated in 2 minutes. So, she's giving his money and keep talking and saying he's impressed with how they took down one of the most prominent fighters. And that. He needs the money. And the man just gives the word. Just says, I missed the part where that's my problem. Peter leaves. Not a few seconds later, the guy gets robbed. And Peter just lets the criminal escape. Man, Peter's telling him why he doesn't get away and stuff. He could have stopped him, but Peter throws his own words back at him. I missed the part where that's my problem. And leaves. But that will have consequences. Actions have consequences. I mean, that's the whole point of the story. Peter's actions here had unfortunate consequences. As Peter ends up finding a group of police and some people surrounding the area, goes to check and sees his Uncle Ben being shot. Uncle Ben died. Peter made a grieve his death. Until during this funeral, MJ and Flash break up. Since Harry seizes that opportunity. We'll get that a bit. Norman ends up being fired by the board, even though Oscorp's making more money now. And he's the founder of Oscorp. Norman's pissed. Oh, what happens next? That's where the military dies. Ah, I'm an idiot. So, yeah, this is where that scene happened. My bad. But yeah, after that, Peter and Harry graduate from Midtown. Yeah, Peter can't stop thinking about Uncle Ben. As he said something pretty hurtful to him, when Uncle Ben was trying to give him good advice. Peter feels but maybe it shows him that he loved him and Peter loved him back. You know, she didn't mean what he said. It's one of the best story moments in for the character ever. Uncle Ben's death has haunted his character for years. He blames himself for what happened. And yet, he's partially responsible. He's partially responsible for what happened. So he let the criminal that killed him get away. Yeah, damn it, I keep it out. After Uncle Ben's death, Peter ends up chasing after the criminal, being him to be the guy, the mugger that he let get away and stuff. And that's when Peter realizes this was this bullshit. Criminals are tripping out of the window and dying. Peter decides to live by Uncle Ben's words and uses his powers responsibly to help people. He creates a new suit while saving a lot of people. As Spider-Man. Now, when the film first got its teaser back in 2000s, back around 2001 or something, I don't know, you could see a shot of the Twin Towers, and that was supposed to be in the film, but that got cut. Well, it was in early 2001. That got cut though due to 9/11 in September and during the events of 9/11. I can understand that, but kind of wish they restored that for modern versions of the film. I kind of wish they restored it. Give the original version as possible. I understand it's being sensitive at the whole thing back at the time, but things have changed now. Episodes that were sensitive and Twin Towers are being aired again most of the time. Unless they're both crashing. I'm saying, I wish they at least restored it as a deleted scene. Anyway, Peter. So yeah. Now as Spider-Man, Peter is saving a lot of people. I was now living with Harry. And that's when no one gets fired. Well, Peter ends up meeting up MJ, who was working at a diner. And she ends up being Peter that she and Harry had dated. Peter's shocked and surprised. Harry never mentioned it to him. And yeah, Peter does like MJ, but Harry told him they were dating. He respected his decision. Friends and stuff. Just weird that Harry didn't tell him. A little bit of a dick later. A little. Like his comic counterpart. But he does come back to apologize for that later. So yeah. He apologizes not to tell Harry. He is. MJ thinks that Harry won't like her working there. Getting signs are not exactly a good relationship. We also get our first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, who doesn't really like Spider-Man, wants to threat on minutes and stuff. But Peter's looking for a new job as he got fired from Dr. Connors. Interesting references, Dr. Connors does appear in the third movie, but never becomes a lizard. Interesting. And during the whole first Daily Bugle scene, they actually mentioned a guy named Eddie, which I assume must be Eddie Brock. Which I think it was a nice little name drop for the character. Because obviously Sam Raimi did not want to use the character or Venom in the movie. But was forced to include him because of popularity. I understand the character was popular, but don't force the filmmaker to do something you don't like. That makes the film lose its charm, magic, and stuff. I'm just saying. The film was blown us enough for what it is. So yeah, Venom just kind of felt forced. Or aggressive stuff. I don't know what Sam Raimi's original vision for the film was. How much we knew. Anyway. We decided to get a job with Daily Bugle. Taking photos of Spider-Man. He ends up being hired as a freelancer. Yeah, it's a bit of a thing. And he has an awkward conversation with Betty Brant. Which is an interesting nod to the comics in a way, as in the comics, Peter and Betty actually did have a thing for each other for a bit. Of course, around that time, Peter was in his aggressive era. Yeah, there was a whole era where Peter was just totally being a dick for no reason. It was clearly being a dick for some reason. Just look it up and stuff. Just look it up. And Peter gets to cover the parade that's going on as next day arrives. Anything else? Peter's not exactly thrilled with the whole thing, and Harry just deliberately walked MJ away from seeing Peter from the balcony. And I comment that I saw and asked MJ why she's not wearing the black dress. She just wants the person's spine and stuff. But she says, she's sure he'll like her for who she is. MJ, anyway, anyway, they end up being attacked by Mysterious Guardian again. So when see more close. So Peter pulls the Superman and sprints into action. I love kidding, by the way. He literally rips open his shirt while running. The real Spider-Man costume underneath. Like how Superman sometimes does that. When reveal his suit. It's just a nice little nod to the character. And the two characters actually did cross over in the comics once. That's not a joke. That actually did happen. Look it up. It's a real comic. I'm not making it up, honest. Hey, Spider-Man faces off against this goblin guy. But he's tough. And the ball members end up getting killed. And just in trouble when Harry gets knocked out by rubble. This guy's tough. Spider-Man's the weapon, the guy escapes, and they'll meet again. And Jay being rescued. Also Spider-Man rescuing the kids. Yeah. Peter. He took MJ to safety. When MJ asks who he is, he says, "You know who I am." She does. "I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." Nice one. Not exactly too keen on the costume of Spider-Man in this film. It's just the web pattern is a little thicker in this one. I just don't like how thick the web patterns are. I just prefer being a little less, more probably integrating the costume as being a little thicker. I don't know, maybe how the suit looks and stuff. I don't know why, but it's just not too keen on the suit much. It's just the web, but one thing I just don't like the most is just the web patterns and stuff. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure you like the suit, that's fine. I got it instead. Norman ends up figuring out he has a split personality that he's the Green Goblin, as Jameson dubbed. And recently, Spider-Man stands in their way of getting what they want. So, at the Daily Bugle, Peter's giving his photos to Jameson about, you know, but I lost well previously the whole playing thing. You know, still big doesn't like Spider-Man match. Peter just leaves. That's when Green Goblin attacks Jameson. Just know, Jameson defends Peter. So when Goblin's asking who took Spider-Man's pictures, Jameson lies saying he doesn't know, same for him be male. That's an interesting choice. As it actually has been shown in the comics and adaptations that Jameson isn't that bad of a person. He's grumpy all the time. He's not a bad person. We've seen that. We've seen cases like that before. But why? But Peter hasn't been part of the Daily Bugle that long, so and this doesn't feel built up. It's good build up, but it doesn't feel built up. Anyway, Spider-Man shows up when Goblin ends up putting him to sleep. When Spider-Man wakes up, he's on a building paralyzed. Basically, Goblin offers him the deal, you know, help work with him or die. After all, people will. He may be healed now, but people will soon one day turn on him. Be all alone. And she needs telling him to think about it. So he still thinks he's not thinking about this is so you know, she says now going walking up to Harry and MJ. Oh, he sees them again. I don't know what I could remember when. Shit. Anyway, the building ends up coming under it. A building ends up being busted into fire. So I must be some people in there. When he hears an old woman still inside, he goes to check, but it's a trick by the Green Goblin. Basically, he asks for Spider-Man's answer. Because Spider-Man refuses. So the Goblin throws weird pumpkin spike blades or something. I'm not inventing all, but accidentally getting a cut on his arm. When he managed to temporarily stop Goblin. Goblin does escape though. Later, everyone's having dinner at Peter and Harry's apartment. May's there, MJ and Norman. Now we get a tense scene. As they end up hearing a thud come upstairs, which is Peter coming home as Spider-Man. But he quickly has to hide. And that's when the blood dripping from Peter's arm drops on the floor. Norman hears it but doesn't see anything. Yes, okay. Sometimes Peter sneaks out after changing back, saying he's just gone back. When Norman sees the cut on Peter's arm, he immediately figures out Peter's Spider-Man. That was quick. I don't know why Peter did not bandage up the wound. Why didn't he bandage up the wound? That doesn't make any damn sense. He should have bandaged it up. Just at least put some webbing on it. You never seen to do that before, put webbing on his wounds. I'm just saying it's just baffling they can do that. So basically, the Goblin personality tells Norman if they want to eliminate Spider-Man. and like one of those most the so Goblin targets May, sending her to the hospital. We May describe what happened and describing the Goblin. The other really knew who it was. Yeah. But interestingly, May in the hospital, MJ there, MJ. We actually got a scene a bit earlier where Peter had a nice interaction with MJ at night. That's when MJ leaves and ends up being housed by Spider-Man, so she's saved by Spider-Man. I'm just going to get an iconic upside down kiss. How do I ever get that scene? I'll watch it in case this video goes off. And ends up being she might like Spider-Man, but Peter says that Spider-Man might not be like that stuff. And directly, Peter ends up revealing his feelings to MJ. Harry ends up obviously might not overhear this. And tells his dad about it, sad. And that gives Norman an idea to target Mary Jane next. As he seemingly cares about his son, apologizing for how he's been absent most of the time. Right, Peter ends up talking to Aunt May. Saying someone, everyone knows that. Saying that everyone knows she's who he loves. Peter ends up make a light bulb. Something ends up going up in Peter's head as he realizes that she may be the Goblin's next target. As he now knows, Goblin knows his identity. So most of MJ's target. Calls her, but no answer. And Goblin picks up. And MJ stranded on the bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge. And Spider-Man has a choice: save her or the kids in a Skytram or whatever it's called. You can't have both. Interesting enough, dropping MJ off the bridge. Was that supposed to be like a reference to Gwen Stacy's death? Or was that just a coincidence? Probably just a coincidence. As he is saving both, but tough time. Luckily, some new people on the barrage come to help out. So, Goblin's attacked. Luckily, the citizens of New York at Spider-Man's back, as they will save MJ and like children. There's a really cool scene between the two. The citizens actually respect there to help Spider-Man against Goblin. And Spider-Man and Goblin have a knife clash. Peter again as Kit, as Goblin makes his plans to kill MJ after this. Which is one thing you do not want to say, as Peter gets an argument when he beats the crap out of the Goblin, with the Goblin being his true identity as Norman Osborn, saying that the Goblin did this stuff, trying to trick Peter, but Peter's not buying it. While this conversation is going on, Norman secretly touched the control panel with this glider spike. But Peter's spider sense goes up, goes into dodge, and was in the glider, and his ghost stabbed Norman, killing him. His last words were, "Peter, don't tell Harry." Similar to what MJ said early on. Peter ends up taking Norman's body to his home, with Harry thinking Spider-Man killed his dad. And that leads on for the next two films. So, Norman's funeral was beheaded. Peter says he can't save anyone, no matter how hard he tried. So he and Harry have a good moment together. As Harry's Spider-Man, but Pete's there for him. He ends up rejecting MJ in a way. But he'll always be her friend. You know what? He can't tell her everything, but so that's something that might be in the next movie. He didn't. As Peter says, gives a bit of a monologue and says, "Who am I? I'm Spider-Man." Which I said to him swim across New York City, saving people. And in the film, I don't rush that part. I forgot some parts. I'm sure I remember it, but that was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It's a really good film. It can be, but still a fun film if you're a kid. It's very 12 though. I don't know if 12-year-olds like this, but if you guys watch it, if you want to contact these ones up and want to see more, subscribe to the channel, look at it was going to jump. Well, we'll see you guys next time for more videos on this channel. I've had a couple more Marvel movies. I don't know if we'll be doing a Spider-Man review next or going through the first Blade movie. We'll see. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Ultimate Comic Book Avenger out.